The storm outside raged like never before. The sky cracked with lightning, and the earth shook with thunder as though the gods themselves were leaning down to watch. Inside the hut, the midwife stared wide-eyed at what lay riding on the mat. Obinna rushed forward, his heart pounding. He bent down to see the child his wife had carried for 7 long years. His breath caught in his throat. The newborn was unlike anything he had ever seen. Its skin glistened with a strange, scaly sheen, as though covered in the hide of a serpent. Its eyes, not soft and closed like a baby's, glowed faintly red in the flickering firelight. The creature squirmed and hissed, letting out not a cry but a sound that sent shivers down every spine in the room. The midwife dropped her herbs and fell to her knees, trembling. "Abomination," she whispered. "This is no child of man." Necker, weak and soaked in sweat, struggled to sit up. She stretched her trembling arms and cried, "Give me my baby. That is my child, my blood." But the woman backed away, refusing to touch it. Even Obinna, strong as he was, felt his courage falter. He hesitated, his hands shaking, until the strange infant turned its glowing eyes toward him. And then, in a voice that was more like a hiss than a cry, the newborn let out a sharp wail. At that sound, Obinna's fatherly heart broke open. He stepped forward, scooped the child into his arms, and held him close. "This is my son," he declared, his voice firm, though his hands trembled. "No matter what he looks like, no matter what he is, this is my blood." But outside, the villagers who had gathered in the rain began to murmur. They had heard the unnatural sound that came from the hut, and fear filled their hearts. Some crossed themselves, some spat on the ground, and others cried, "A curse has been born among us." By dawn, the story spread across the land. Necker has given birth after 7 years. But what she bore is not human. Some demanded the child be killed before he brought misfortune. The chief himself called Obinna to the square. His voice was heavy as he said, "My son, the village cannot accept what is unnatural. Give us the child, and let us return him to the earth before he brings calamity upon us all." But Obinna stood tall and refused. "This is my son, Icom. He is my flesh and blood. I will not hand him over." The people gasped at the name. Icom, meaning strength of the people. But none believed such a child could bring strength. To them, he was only a curse. Days turned into weeks. The strange child grew at a speed that defied nature. At 3 days old, he was already crawling. At 2 weeks, he walked. By the end of 1 month, he spoke with words clear as any grown man. One night, as Obinna lay awake, he felt a cold hand touch his arm. He turned and saw his son, barely weeks old but already standing like a boy of 5. Icom's eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. He leaned close and whispered, "Father, do not fear me. I was sent for a purpose. In time, your people will know." Obinna's heart raced. "What do you mean?" My son. What purpose? But Icom only smiled, his teeth too sharp for a child, and walked back into the shadows. From that night onward, strange things began to happen in the village. When Icom laughed, the wind howled through the trees and tore at rooftops. When he cried, crops withered overnight, their green leaves turning brown. Livestock fell ill when he stared at them for too long. And sometimes, when the moon was full, villagers swore they saw him playing alone in the graveyard, talking to shadows that had no bodies. Fear grew deeper. People stopped visiting Obina's compound. Children were told never to look at Icom. Even friends who once supported Obina avoided his path. One evening, the chief called another gathering. The oracle was summoned again. The priestess shook violently, foam at her lips, as she screamed. The child is not of woman alone. He is the return of an ancient spirit, bound to this village by the sins of your fathers. He has come as judgment, as reminder, as curse. The crowd cried out in terror. Women fell to their knees, begging the gods for mercy. Some demanded the boy be killed at once. But Obina held his ground, his wife clinging to his side, both of them shielding the child from the angry crowd. The chief raised his staff to silence the people. His voice trembled as he declared, "If this child has come as judgment, then the days ahead will reveal his true nature. Until then, let no man raise a hand against him. But beware, this child is not one of us." That night, as the blood-red moon rose over the forest, Icom sat by the fire, staring into the flames. He turned to his mother and father and whispered words that made their blood run cold. 7 years I slept in the womb. 7 years more, and I shall awaken fully. Then, the world will see why I was born. Neko clutched Obina's hand, her eyes wide with fear. For she knew that whatever destiny awaited her son, it was far darker than anything she could have imagined.
The story is to continue. Please subscribe to this channel to watch our property.